understand, N stands for nervous system. It's the neuro.
Okay.
So neuro-linguistic programming. N is the nervous system, which means we as human beings. So we have this, our body, our mind, our brain, which is all interconnected. तो ये system है, इसलिए इसको nervous system कहा गया
Okay.
है. So nervous system, we have these 5 senses through which we intake information from the world outside, and now we process that information.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like 5 senses, like visual, auditory, kinesthetic is the sense of touch and feel, and we have the smell and the taste.
Yes.
So now, through these 5 senses, we take the information in, and we process the information. L stands for linguistics.
Okay.
Right? So linguistics, yani the language we use. So language is the biggest privilege that human beings possess.
Yes.
So through language, what we are doing is, now with this N and the linguistic, the language, we are creating our programs, right?
Okay.
So programming, the P stands for programming. So P is the programs that are running our nervous system. So now our emotions are our programs, the way we feel is a program that's running, our behavior, our responses. So everything as human beings जो हम करते हैं, it is the programming. It's the program that's running in the nervous system.
Okay.
All right? And it's not that scientific as it's sounding, but then यहाँ पर गौर फरमाने वाली बात यह है कि that L is the coding. So we are coding ourselves.
Okay.
So what is good for someone may be bad for somebody else.
I just had shivers down my spine thinking, you are speaking about programming and everything. I just thought, am I a cyborg or a Robocop? Because neuro and linguistics and programming, how does this fit together?
All right, so I think I'll ease down the chills that you're having. So it's like, in very simple words, NLP is the science of human excellence.
Yeah.
So it's like learning the science and the art of how can we produce excellence in any field we want. कि आप financial field में हो, आप अपने emotional life को manage करना चाहते हो, you want to earn money, you want to have personal growth, you want to learn to become more peaceful in life, you want to break your habits, you want to have this enhanced communication with people, you want to have this intrapersonal skills, interpersonal skills. So all of this can be summed down into producing human excellence through NLP.
Wow, that's whole another angle, because to my prelude that I was actually what problem I was presented and I was exploring, this is something exactly that I was actually looking for.
I'm glad.
So could you just explore upon it, or could you shed more light upon it? How does this exactly work? What is it exactly?
Fantastic. Now, to begin with, it's like any person who wants to excel in life, professional, personal, financial, spiritual, relationships, anything, you need to have these 2 very important skills. One is intrapersonal skills.
Okay.
So intrapersonal skills यानी आप अपने ही आप में कैसे communication करते हैं? Like we human beings almost have 25,000 thoughts per day. तो हम अपने आप के साथ communicate कर ही रहे हैं. We are self-talking. Yeah, that's right. So we are self-talking, or we are visualizing something. So we are having our own internal world that we are communicating with. Now, interestingly, whatever we are communicating, it is actually creating our programming, the performances.
Okay.
तो हमारी performance, हमारा behavior, हमारा emotion, हमारे अंदर की सोच पैदा कर रही है. So that's called as intrapersonal skills. The second skill is interpersonal. Okay, now when I'm talking with you, if I'm speaking with someone else outside, am I having the ability to create influence that I want?
Okay.
Influence means, am I really communicating, or I'm simply talking? So there's a difference between communicating with someone and just talking, So NLP teaches these two very important skills, intrapersonal and interpersonal, so that you can have an influence and a very high impact into your communication.
Okay. So the self-talk and the talk with others,
that's right,
has to be sort of what we can say, has to have an influence,
Absolutely.
and we learn to have that influence by learning
through
through NLP.
Absolutely correct.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I always have wondered what might be, where is this concept or the theory coming from? What is the background of NLP? How has this been founded or, has been proposed?
That's right. Good. Now this is way back in 1970s. There's these two co-creators, one being Richard Bandler, Dr. Richard Bandler, and John Grinder. So these are these two gentlemen. That's in California, America, where in the early 1970s. So Richard Bandler has been a computer programmer
Okay.
and a mathematician,
Uh-huh.
and John Grinder is a linguistic professor. It's like language.
Okay.
So, all right, so linguistic professor. So both these gentlemen, they started to contemplate and ponder upon this idea कि हम एक कंप्यूटर सिस्टम बनाते हैं, तो क्या आप एक कंप्यूटर सिस्टम का कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, उसकी परफॉर्मेंस को रेप्लिकेट कर सकते हैं? यानी
Okay.
can you make 1,000 computers the way you want?
Indeed.
Indeed, yes.
Yes.
Now, can't the same thing happen with human beings?
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So astonishingly, the answer is yes.
Is it?
That even we human beings are like computer systems. Like we have our brain, that we give a command, our brain is processing the information and producing our result. So we human beings actually, and in literal sense, we are computers. So now the idea was, if you are good at something, if somebody is good at something else, if somebody else is they're doing something phenomenally good, whereas there are other people who cannot do much in life. So which means there is something that is computing has to be addressed. So now can we learn from somebody who is good at something and transfer this file into somebody who wants to be good in something? So that's how it began. Now to make things that happen? Thank you very much. Now to make things much more easier and simplified, तो ये इसको कहा गया है modeling.
Okay.
तो ये शुरुआत हुई. तो मॉडलिंग यानी क्या आप जिस चीज में बहुत बेहतरीन है, तो कोई और बन सकता है बेहतरीन जिनको वैसा प्रोड्यूस करना है रिजल्ट जो आप करते हैं. तो देखा गया कि आप अपने अंदर की कम्युनिकेशन कैसे कर रहे हैं, जिसकी वजह से यू आर प्रोड्यूसिंग बिहेवियरल आउटसाइड रिजल्ट.
Okay.
Your behavior that's producing the result. So this is modeling. So this is how it began. And then now there's this fast forward 50 years. Now we are in 2022.
Yes.
Now this whole NLP is a ready-made model. It's a model for human excellence, which means जिस भी इंसान को किसी भी फील्ड में mastery हासिल करनी है, or you want to enhance, or you want to solve your problems, so NLP will give you this ready model, a ready-made techniques to speak, theories and concepts and ready-made tools where you can learn, understand, and straight away apply it.
As a child, or everyone in their childhoods, they have some heroes of, they might be from the cartoons, animations, or they might be from real life. आपके बेडरूम में हमेशा कोई एक पोस्टर किसी का चिपका के रॉजर फेडरर का चिपकाएगा, कोई अनिल कपूर का चिपकाएगा. सो दैट इज अंडरस्टैंडेबल कि एक रोल मॉडल आपने रखा है और आप उसकी तरफ बनना चाहते हैं. द रोल मॉडल्स कैन इवन चेंज, बट जस्ट टू रेप्लिकेट द मॉडल्स, ये थोड़ा सा माने I am not able to process it.
That's right.
Since now
That's right.
You have established that I am a computer,
yeah.
so I am not able to process. So.
That's right. And the very word you're saying, process it, which means that something is happening which is like a computer.
Yes.
So if we understand that the way a computer works, our mind is actually like a computer. So there's another new definition of NLP which I want to introduce. It's the user's manual of your mind.
User manual of the mind. Okay.
User's manual of your mind. So if you are into HR, you are a professional, you are an entrepreneur, you are a teacher, leader, parent, public speaker. So you are having, if you know the way your mind works, if you know how it works, so you can achieve your goals in a much higher probability. यानी आपको जो अपने लाइफ में अचीव करना है आसानी से पॉसिबल है as compared to otherwise.
How would you describe NLP as being an invention or a discovery? What is it?
It is purely a discovery.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like people already are very good at something that they do.
Uh-huh.
So now the invention is the model,
Right.
but the content is the discovery.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The content is the discovery because there are genius people, without having a formal education of using their mind or to read their user's manual, they have produced excellent results in their life. So be a family therapist, be a hypnotist, be an influential speaker, entrepreneur. So what NLP does is, what it has done, it's like we have learned what are these people actually doing inside of their heads, which is invisible. And then producing a very rational and a very logical, tangible strategy, जिससे हम भी उसको use कर सकते हैं and apply it.
Right.
It's like you have your mobile phone and then you can just buy or download any software.
Yeah.
And quite right away your phone is updated. So as good as that. Yeah.
Why I asked you this question is because I read somewhere while my research was going on that NLP is a compilation of different theories and techniques.
Yes.
And that is why I asked you whether it's an invention or a discovery. So now coming up to this, what are the contents of this whole theory or what we can say package?
Wonderful. I think like the way you said, it's a compilation. So it's like, imagine there's a Swiss knife. So Swiss knife is like you are having multiple tools to solve multiple problems or to handle multiple problem scenarios or scenes. So lot of times what we do is, it's like एक चाकू से हम सब्जियां काटते हैं. You're cutting vegetables with a knife. You cannot use the same knife for eating.
Right.
You need to have a fork or a spoon. Yep. Or you have a cutting knife which is different from the actual vegetable cutting knife. So now, if you have more tools, you are more flexible into achieving your goals in life.
Okay.
Therefore, so NLP has addressed into creating this model that it has many tools which will specifically help you कि आप अपने different times पर situational based apply those tools.
Acha.
Yeah.
Okay. So since you have a Swiss knife, you know which tool to apply when.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. But of course you need also a formal education to use the Swiss knife.
Yes. As you mentioned, eating fruit with a knife. Yes, you're right. You cannot. You need to be. In one case you might, when you are a villain in a Hindi film, you can use the knife to eat a fruit. The jokes apart, but so if you have this Swiss knife, can I say that then it can be applicable to anyone? Anyone can apply it.
Perfect.
You do not have to be a. Let's say you do not have to be an entrepreneur. You do not have to be a professional. Anyone can apply. Can that be true?
Exactly. It's like anyone who has a mind must learn to use the user's manual. So it's like if anyone has a mind, they must learn what is the manual of the mind.
So my dear viewers, be mindful. Okay. So now the way you have explained, using a Swiss knife or using different techniques, could you just elaborate more? What kind of techniques are there, and in which cases? Just as a sort of example, you can have.
Sure. I think you know what. First of all, I want to emphasize upon a point of the very definition कि NLP. यानी हमारे जिंदगी में जो भी हमारी प्रोग्रामिंग यानी जो भी हम कर रहे हैं एक प्रोग्राम रन हो रहा है, राइट? अब ये प्रोग्राम रन कैसे हो रहा है? क्योंकि हमने कोड दिया है, linguistic code. Now let's say if I don't earn the amount of money which I need, I am a failure.
Okay.
If a student says, if I don't get so grade, I'm not doing good enough, I'm not intelligent.
Yes.
Now mind you, that becomes a code.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like if I get my mark sheet which is saying I've got less marks, I'm naturally going to feel not good.
Yes, definitely.
Maybe bad or frustrated or angry. Not good.
Yes.
Now this very emotion is also a program जो मेरे कोड ने प्रोड्यूस किया है. तो अगर मैं linguistic कोड ही नहीं करूंगा तो मेरी प्रोग्रामिंग में कुछ और असर होगा. Yeah, I want this to be really understood where we are creators of our life. Whatever we are doing, whatever we want to do, we literally are creators.
Okay.
So where is that gap, is that linguistic coding that we are doing? And this is exactly NLP comes in. Now NLP is based on a principle which is called as cause and effect principle.
Okay.
It's like, let's say that you disrespectfully speak with me, of course I'll feel bad.
Definitely.
Natural.
Yeah.
But now you are not producing chemicals in my brain that's making me feel bad.
Am I not?
सोच कर देखिए, यानी मेरा एक फीलिंग से गुजरना, मेरे अंदर कुछ न्यूरोकेमिकल्स होते हैं जो रिलीज हो रहे हैं, and I'm feeling bad about it, by the way. Now you are speaking me in a way that's making me sad, for example. But then it is not your mistake. It is my coding that people should not disrespectfully speak with me.
Okay.
So cause and effect means, am I living at the cause side? Which means, am I responsible for my own creation of programs? Am I responsible for my own life? So it's like if I say, you are making me angry. So understanding that this is a principle called as cause and effect. So it's like if I say that you make me angry, all right? So you make me angry. Now, actually, anger is an emotion which I'm feeling within. And it is like the chemicals in my brain are releasing, that's producing my emotion of anger. So when I say you are making me angry, are you actually releasing or secreting the chemicals in my brain? You're not.
No.
So this is like I am making you the cause of my effect. All right? So it's like the world is not letting me live the life I want. You know, people are taking undue advantage of me.
No. Just. Does this really happen?
Believe it or not, it does happen. So it's like that. So now it's like the more responsible you make people outside of you or the world outside of you, you're living at the effect side. Now NLP teaches that this is phenomenally phenomenal understanding that you have to learn to live at the cause side, because it is your neuro-linguistic code that's making you live at the cause or the effect side.
No, but I'm still trying to process. You are trying to say that, you know, no matter how disrespectfully I treat you,
Yeah.
it's not going to affect you. Is that what you're saying?
It should not. If I'm living completely at the cause side, it should not, because understanding the L part of linguistics, which I spoke about earlier. So I am creating a code. So if I don't have the code, I don't have a program. You know. So understanding this cause and effect principle, it's like, let's say that if you are a good driver, you know, so if you are a good driver, you won't blame others for their mistakes. You learn to drive your own way. यानी आपको तो अब अगर यही बात होती है कि जैसे आप नया गाड़ी चलाना सीखते हैं तो आप बाहर लोगों को ब्लेम करते हैं, यार उसको ठीक से नहीं आ रहा है, he is not driving, she is not doing good. So now if you are a good driver, you're not affected. Now that's the difference.
That I can definitely.
So it's like you are taking charge, control of your mind. So that's the cause side. Now, you know, it's like
astonishing, just astonishing.
Astonishing, yes. And easier said than done.
Yes.
So the whole NLP revolves around this principle called as cause and effect. There's another principle called as perception is projection. You know, so it's like what you see in others is basically what you have within yourself, right?
Okay.
So let's say that you spot an elephant. So you must know what elephant is so that you can recognize the elephant.
Yes.
All right. Now, cutting a long story short, all right. So it's like if you want to make changes in your life at the outside level, you must learn to make those changes internally. अंदर में change हम लाएंगे तो बाहर हमारे जिंदगी में changes reflect होंगे. All right.
Yeah. There is a saying in English, you know, do unto others.
Yeah.
So.
What others have done to you.
Yeah, what you would like others to do with you.
Yeah.
So, how is this related? We can you know पिरो सकते हैं.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, again, like, you know, our Mahatma Gandhi quote, where be the change you want to see in the world. So that's perception is projection. So if you think that the world is out to get you, it's not the world is at fault. It's like we have created those codings. यानी हमने ऐसे कोड बनाकर रखा है तो जिसकी वजह से वो हमारे अंदर हम जब चेंज नहीं करते अपने आप को so the world is not changing outside, you know.
Yeah. I am getting sort of mixed feelings in the sense that, you know, Abhi, I was like totally astonished, but now that you are laying it down, I came, suddenly a thought came to me that, you know, all the philosophers in the world, or all, let's say, the holy books that normally do guide us people, say the same thing, isn't it? It is simple to understand. So they have been saying the same thing. So then, how does NLP, you know, differentiate from that?
I think this is a wonderful question. I think it's a wonderful thought. So it's like, it is a similar thing, but this is more of a scientific understanding.
Okay.
You know, it's a scientific understanding. So that you know how it is happening, you take charge of your life, you take command of your own mind, and then you run the way you want it to run, depending on what you want to accomplish.
Okay.
तो आपका अगर फाइनेंशियल गोल है, आपका अगर इमोशनल मैनेजमेंट गोल है, तो आप जब इस यूजर्स मैनुअल को जानेंगे अपने खुद के बारे में, you create what you want, you know.
Okay, so rather than the paragraphs, you are sort of getting a SOP, so to say.
That's right.
Or a procedure.
All right,
you know,
yes.
Laid in the sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
And you do that procedure according to the sequence, and then you come, you get the result of the...
That's right. That's absolutely correct. Okay. That's absolutely correct.
Okay.
So it's like you are learning how to run your own mind. You know, you be the charge of your own mind.
Okay, so rather than being different, you are trying to say that NLP is conforming to whatever philosophies are there in the world.
That's right.
You have to work on
inside.
yourself.
That's
inside.
right. Absolutely correct.
Okay.
Like you make the change within, and then you see the change outside.
So antarmukh hona, andar chale jana is what NLP is confirming. Only just by, you know, they are giving a sort of a sequential code or a procedure or a user's manual, as you rightly said.
Bilkul. So it's like, are you in touch with your own unconscious mind? You know, so it's like you're like there is mind. You know, we call it conscious mind, subconscious mind, unconscious mind. So are you in touch with your own self?
My God.
Yeah. So it's like आपके जो habits होते हैं, आपके habits जो आप automatically करते हो, all right? So something that you repeatedly do becomes a habit. Now all your habits are controlled by your unconscious mind. So now NLP will teach you to become aware of what's happening at the unconscious level, identify it, and now rectify it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although I am not, 100% still able to agree with it, but now that you have laid down in such a logical manner, I will have to come to terms with it that there is a code existing, and if you put a right code, you are going to get the result.
That's right.
So, okay.
So far, so good, yes.
Yeah. So, let us say how, as me being an entrepreneur, how does it, I'm having, I'm playing different characters, so to say, in the stage of my life.
Yeah.
So I am an entrepreneur. I run industries. I'm an individual who wants to, make some spiritual progress. It might be my goal. I'm a parent.
Yeah.
I'm a father. I'm a husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how does NLP help me in, accomplishing those goals in my life?
All right, fantastic. Now, I would like to introduce a word called as identity.
Okay.
So, like when you said you are an entrepreneur, you are a parent, you are a father, you are a husband. So, these are all different identities. Okay. Interestingly, if you are operating from an identity, you are going to behave according to that identity. So it's like, let's say we both are right now very good friends. So we would not be talking to each other the way we are talking to each other right now. So there would be something more casual that would take place if we are really good friends, sitting over a cup of coffee, or we are dining together. Yeah. So we are operating from multiple identities.
Yes.
So now this is, by the way, it's called cognitive dissonance.
Okay.
Cognitive dissonance. So यहाँ पर NLP क्या सिखाता है कि आपकी identities, is it matching with your goal?
Is the identity matching with the goal?
With the goal.
Okay.
You know, now as a parent, you have an identity.
Yes.
You will behave different at home versus you will behave in a way at office.
For sure.
Naturally.
Yes.
Naturally.
Yes.
So it's like your whole behavior is run by your identity. Right? So now NLP will make you aware of what are your identities and what are the behaviors, what are the skills, what are your belief systems that you are operating with. Now something to make things a little bit more simple for understanding. This is where the cognitive dissonance takes place. Now let's say that as a student, right, or as a working professional, let's say that I'm finding difficulty in finding the right job.
Okay.
All right, I'm facing difficulty. So now I say to myself in my mind, right, I say, maybe I'm not good enough. So I'm not good enough. Now this becomes an identity, mind you. Yeah,
Oh.
this becomes a mind identity. Now this is at an unconscious level. Now there is this a characteristic हमारे unconscious mind का that it takes everything literally.
Okay.
Yeah. So यानी neuro-linguistically हमने अपने आप को command दे दिया. I am not good enough. And you are not aware that you've done that. So imagine one command you've given, let's say when you were a child, believe you me, you are still carrying it as an unconscious level. You're behaving conforming to that code.
It's so
It's
freaky.
unbelievable. That's right. So it's like we have millions of code like that. So यानी हम हमेशा mixed identity से जी रहे हैं. Therefore, achieving what we want to achieve becomes difficult.
So what I am getting out of my life today or will be getting tomorrow, I am the cause of it. That is what you want to say. I am programming myself.
That's right. Exactly right.
And if I program rightly,
Yeah.
I am going to get, right things or
Perfect.
what I desire.
Perfect. Therefore, that we are the creators. And hence all of what I've said would make a logical sense. That when we are saying something to ourselves, हमारा unconscious mind उसको literally लेकर वैसा ही रोल करवाता है हमसे जैसा हमने कोड दिया है. अब आपके बचपन में कितने कोड्स आपने दिए अपने आप को, आप कितने लोग as teachers, as parents, as leaders, how many codes are we installing in other people?
Oh, right.
So this is something to be being very conscious about.
My goodness.
It's all the coding systems.
Suddenly I started reminiscing. As an entrepreneur now, I definitely feel that my human resource department and my sales department especially need to perform far more better as compared to my other departments. Although I would like my entire industry to work on a same level as far as the performance is concerned, but if the HR and sales department outperform these departments,
Yes.
definitely I'm going to get more results.
That's right.
So, how can NLP really be an aid to HR and sales?
Fantastic. Now let's say that for an HR professional, right? So it's like the whole idea about being into HR industry is about having interpersonal skills.
Right.
Like जब हम बात कर रहे हैं एक दूसरे के साथ, am I communicating in the right way? Now there is this pillar of NLP, right? The pillar of NLP is like one of the pillars is like rapport building.
Right.
So imagine कि आज हमारे पास मान लो एक मोबाइल फ़ोन है, एक कंप्यूटर सिस्टम है, तो अब जब इन दोनों में आपको फाइल ट्रांसफ़र सक्सेसफुल करना है, तो I'm sure you would create an interface.
Correct.
Let's say a Bluetooth device
Yeah.
or Wi-Fi. So you are creating an interface so that the file transfer can take place.
Yes.
So is true with human beings.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you creating the right rapport? And now, to adding with this ongoing talk, so it's like हमारे जो communication होती है, words are only 7%.
Is it so?
Yeah. 38% is your tonality of your voice.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I say that I hate you, or versus I bring my volume very high and I say, I hate you. So I'm sure the second one would make you
Yes,
feel that I'm
yes,
actually starting
yes,
to hate you.
yes.
I mean, that's not the case, of course. But so the words are the same. But my tonality and the 55% body language is what the real communication is. Plus, it's all about your internal values, your internal beliefs, your internal codings. Now, making this more simple, HR person, a professional, are you able to understand? Are you having the skill of reading people like a book? Yeah.
Yes.
So that is something which NLP profoundly and very simply makes you understand.
So well put. So well put.
And coming to the sales aspect, of course. Now, sales is all about creating influence. So and the whole neuro-linguistic programming is based on this approach of influential communication. So am I having influence on you? Am I connecting with you first at an unconscious level, by the way? Now, this could be hypnotic, you know. Therefore, I'm sure that, you might have heard NLP is also a manipulative language. It is hypnotic skills.
That I did hear.
That's right.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But I would just, sorry for interrupting, but hypnosis, what is hypnosis? Means what we have seen hypnosis, that is, whether that is conventional or unconventional, whether it is true or false.
Right.
But how do you make hypnosis conversationally?
That's right, and I really appreciate the word conversational hypnosis. So now NLP also teaches you how to do that. Now we're not talking about a pendulum swinging, We're not talking about a conventional approach like, hey, I'm going to hypnotize you. But now hypnosis is something that is, you come in a state of trance. Now, if you might have realized that maybe you're watching movie or you're driving or you are reading something, time simply passes by.
Yes.
And like, oh my God, it's been 1 hour.
Yes.
So you were in the state of trance.
Oh.
So now, which means that I can lead you, which means in a state of hypnosis, I tell you something and you just do it.
Is it so?
Is it so? I mean, it should happen.
Oh.
That's why, you've seen that people who are hypnotized, they are influenced
Yes.
much more easily.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like I say, you do. But now you will uncritically accept it. यानी जो मैं आपको कह रहा हूँ, you will not apply your logical mind and you will simply do it.
Okay.
तो ये बहुत dangerous भी हो सकता है. Plus, it can be very ecological also. Now let's say a teacher is teaching the students. Now is he or she having the skill of hypnotic conversation, communication, where if you put your children in trance, now mind you, again, I'm not saying hypnotism as in laying down and then getting hypnotized, but are you able to create trance? If yes, you are an influential teacher, influential leader, influential politician.
Okay.
So speaker.
Now that you have come to the subject of teachers, the first time that you explained that this is a code and there might be, identity was a big sort of revelation that happened to me, and there was sort of explosion, and I definitely took me to my schooling days. And I could remember 2 or 3 of my teachers, saying something, and still I do believe that that was me, that is still me.
Yeah, oh yes.
So did they create that identity into me, and that is still there in me?
100% right.
Whether good or bad,
And unfortunately right. And I'm also, feeling the pain that imagine the children, now from parents' side, teachers' side, one wrong code I have put you. So children are in a state of unconscious learning state.
Yes.
And I had told you some time back that our unconscious mind takes everything literally.
Yes.
So now that's the code. And they will not even challenge that code.
My God.
Yeah. So if I say, look at you, you are not able to understand something, look at your friend, look at the neighbor.
How dumb you are.
How dumb you are. And now you say, all right, maybe you are telling me, यानी मैं dumb हूँ. तो आप जिंदगी भर उसी कोड को लेकर चल रहे हो.
My goodness. So, the teaching profession should.
So it's a must. It's called also the modal operator of words. So they should not, they must learn this. They must learn because they are creating future leaders.
Yes.
Not of our societies, but our countries, our global. leaders.
And I can imagine if anyone, if a teacher installs identity of a kalam,
Yes, oh
we
yes,
can have many kalams.
100% right.
As per the NLP's modeling theory goes.
Perfect.
Right. Same will be happening with sports coaches and even personal coaches and life
Yeah.
coaches.
It's all about what are you doing inside. That's producing your outcome. What are you doing inside? Think positive, you'll behave positive. But then I'm not metaphysically saying.
Yes.
I'm not metaphysically saying. I'm a critic when it comes to metaphysics. So I want to logically make you explain that if you have a code, that code will have an effect in your body. It's like your psychology affects your physiology, biology. So that's a secret tool for performance.
Having said this, I have seen, especially in a country like India, which is full of buzzing with politics and everything. Many leaders just people swarm in and the leaders just tell something and they erupt. There is a reaction as a whole, and it's like you are seeing magic in front of your eyes.
Yes.
So are these leaders somehow making use of NLP?
Somehow they are. Now let's say somehow they are. Sometimes now as we had earlier spoken, it's a discovery. So some people, some leaders, they have this natural knack of influence. But my point is, if you learn the knack, if you consciously learn, so ye learn kar, now you know where do I apply this.
Okay.
And leaders, such leaders are called as influential leaders. Even as an entrepreneur, are you having influence in your communication?
Yes, and I would definitely like to have
exactly. So if you want to press motivation buttons for employees, so you should know how to influence the motivation button code. Inspiration, motivation. But now, sadly, we are simply talking. Like I said, we are not communicating. So
I came across an article explaining, that the President of America, Barack Obama, and even Prime Minister of England, David Cameron, even Oprah Winfrey for that matter, they have had a formal training in NLP. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, the big names, I want to keep it not so explicit, but as a trainer, so I exactly do not know whether or not they've taken it formally, but yes, one thing I might want to validate, कि जब उनके कहे गए वाक्य, उनके शब्द, जब उनकी स्क्रिप्ट को अगर पढ़ा जाए, तो उसमें NLP influence है. Okay, and majorly based on something called as Milton model.
Okay.
तो Milton model एक NLP का linguistic pattern है जो हम सीखते हैं कि hypnotic influence कैसे create किया जाए, so that आपकी audience are mesmerized, and then they do what you want them to do uncritically, without applying their conscious logic into whether or not should I.
I was just visualizing, I am speaking to my team and they are just uncritically accepting it. What that day would be. Okay. So let us say now, me as an entrepreneur, I am just convinced about how NLP works, and yes, it works. So how do I learn it, and what is the format?
Thank you very much. Now there is this format. Now this is it's a subject on its own self, So now what we have created is like there's something called as NLP practitioner certification course.
Okay.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to get certified, so we have this 5 days, 6 days training into formally learning this step-by-step approach to NLP program.
Okay.
All right, so that's what happens. Now I conduct NLP workshops all across the country. Now, if you want to straight learn, you will have the 5 days option. In some cases, however, I also do three days of NLP program. That's 6 days.
Okay.
So I do 3 days, take a 5-day gap. So it's a weekend course, Then I make it 6 days so that we can practice more and then like that. Okay. So you get a certificate.
Oh.
It's called NLP Practitioner Certificate. Also, now if you think that this is helping you a lot and you want to have more understanding in depth, there is something called as NLP Master Practitioner.
Okay.
All right, so that's a 14 days of training. 14 days, where you will learn much more about the internal programmings and linguistic communication, influential
Right.
aspects.
Right.
Yeah, and that's how it is laid upon. Yeah. So we start at, let's say, it's an 8-hour formal training, by the way.
8 hours.
8 hours, yeah, per day. Yeah.
So is there any sort of classroom training or
Yeah.
any books and materials given?
Very good. Thank you very much. Yes, that's right. So now let's say that it's a 5-based training, formal classroom training, offline, continuing then with 4 online trainings.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll also get a 200 pages of manual, plus
Okay.
a pen drive which will contain all the content that you have covered and learned. So that I personally believe that you will need more of me after you finish the training, and that's
Okay.
where I'm standing committedly for that. Right.
Yes. So you get a 200 pages
Plus-
manual for the user manual.
That's right. Oh, that's right. And plus, when you finish this, this is an ongoing way of life living. So you also become a part of our community.
Okay.
So all the people who have done NLP with me, so we create a group where people practice together. Anybody has a query, so we create these WhatsApp groups, where any query you have, any questions you have, so you are getting your answers shared and resolved.
That I guess is very important, because what happens is there are many numerous courses available offline and online, but you go there, you learn the techniques and everything, but then when it comes to practicing it or doing it on yourself, or working with it, you might have some problems while understanding the mechanisms of how to do. And then if you do not have support, the entire learning goes in vain.
Absolutely right. It's like watching a motivational movie. कि movie देखने
Yeah.
के बाद लगता है कि I'll do this, I'll do that, and you just fast forward 1 week, you're back to where you were. But keeping this very aspect into consideration, तो हमने ऐसा system बनाया है कि आपके program होने के बाद, once if you are certified, you have a lifetime support.
My God.
Yeah. And I'm saying it with full heart, because I know that that's the time you would need us more.
Yeah.
And so much so that अब ये programs होते हैं, even my language, तो मैं पूरा program हिंदी में भी करता हूँ.
अच्छा.
Depending on the city I'm training at, तो पूरा program हिंदी में होता है. In some cases Hindi and Marathi together. I also speak a bit of Marathi, and English में जहाँ पर है तो I speak in English completely. So we also have this flexible approaches, just to ensure that people are getting what they want.
Now that you have explained that how we can learn it, what is the format, 6 days or even 3 days, 3 plus 3 days, or even 11 days of masters practitioners. Even you told us about how do we can sustain it. Even you said that you will have a lifetime of support.
Support, in case of any queries or.
And I think that the word practitioner is so succinct. So you are a practitioner, so you are supposed to keep on practicing.
Absolutely correct. And I'm so glad you said that. कि practitioner का मतलब ही वही है, the one who is now practicing. Right. One who is practicing all the time.
So you get your nervous system, you understand its mechanism that it can be programmed. You make use of language and linguistics. So the nervous system plus linguistics, and then you program it.
Programming.
And then achieve whatever desired results you want.
Success.
And then you can have the peace of mind.
I think in a nutshell, you said everything in a very succinct and eloquent way. Yes.
So that is NLP for you, all our viewers, and I, on behalf of all of us, I thank Mr. Ravi so much to come here and explain us what NLP is, and what a magical tool it is to liberate ourselves from the shackles that we ourselves have put us into. So thank you very much, Ravi sir, and let us meet again with some new and fresh topic.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks a lot.